This is track number 4 on the auction. This is what we've called the Worthington Place. We're on the north side of the property right now. As you can see, this is all planted alfalfa. I believe the tenant is out here swathing as we record. He's right over here. Yeah, there he is right there. This is basically sub-irrigated hay. It does very well whether it rains or whether it doesn't. We're so close to the river. Right here, just to my south, is the old farmstead area. Lots and lots of timber. We're gonna start putting around the side here and take you back to the lane and the pasture, and then we'll come back over to the soybeans. Headed due west. This is on the back side of the farmstead. We're just on the west side of the farmstead, which adjoins Worthington Road. And this right here is the lane that goes back to the pasture. And just on the other side, I don't know if we can see it from here or not, I'll get there in just a moment, there is a soybean field. And just a half mile to my south is the big Arkansas River. That's the bean field I was just mentioning. The other trees are the edge of the pasture, and just beyond that is the river. This is the north end of the pasture. Which adjoins the hayfield. Tremendous whitetail habitat. We're on the south side of the farmstead. The farmstead is right up there. This is the bean field we were looking at earlier. That's pasture in the background and pasture here on the south, and of course again the big timber in the back is the river. The investor will really appreciate the income on this. The sportsman will go absolutely crazy when they look at all the multifaceted features of this, between the food, the cover, the water. It is just an absolute deer and turkey paradise. Okay, we're in the pasture. This is Mount Hope Sand, just on the east side. This is Worthington Road. That's the river. We're gonna head on back in there. I'm not sure we can pick them up or not, but there are 3 deer feeding on the beans. Let's see if we can find them. There. Slipped around to the side of them, try and get a better view. I could have swore one of those, yep, right there. Big buck in velvet. There he is looking at us. This is a long washout from the flood in 1972, I believe it was. You can get a good idea of the size of it when you look at the aerial map. And just on the other side here is the river. We're going to try and get back there and just flash. Okay, the tree row that we're looking at right there is the north quarter line, or the half-mile line. Just back in this area in the beans is where we were just looking at the deer. Some pretty cows. here's the big river. It's a pretty high bank on this side. I don't believe there's a sandbar approaching. This is also a great area for duck and goose hunting. The sand pit, of course, across the road. The old sand pit is only a half-mile away. There's lots of farm fields, including this property, that the ducks and geese will come and sit on and feed during the day and hit the water, hit the river when it gets cold. I need to also mention on the other side there is a small patch of CRP. It is landlocked. There will be more info on that the day of the sale, and watch our website. Okay, we're just entering into the north quarter. The habitat in here is just wonderful. There's lots and lots of sandhill plum thickets through here. They did do quite a little tree removal over the last 4 or 5 years, pushed them into piles, which has turned into some nice quail habitat as well. To give you an idea, the deer that we looked at would be just on the other side of that area right there, which we're not going to be able to see them. This is the north pasture just on the other side of this, which is probably 300 yards or so, is where we started this on the other side of the hayfield. This is just solid timber in here. It's almost completely engulfed with hedge trees. The deer we saw were right back here. The beans are just on the other side of this tree row. We're on top of Worthington Bridge, looking back to the west. That's the bank on the property and subject, and there is an island in the back, which you'll need to look at our aerial views. We're inside the old farmstead. There's the bean field just beyond. There's an old shed here. Barn has seen better days. Not much of a roof left. There is a operating windmill right here. It is pushing water today. This is an exceptional property, all within 25 minutes or less, more like 20 minutes from the west edge of Wichita, Kansas, with major airport. Certainly this property will satisfy the most discerning sportsman.